Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we'll be doing a review for House of the Dragon, Episode 2, Rhaenyra the Cruel. Funny enough, I had to go into the official podcast to figure out the title of this episode because it wasn't on HBO yet. It wasn't on the app or like IMDb or none of those places. But according to the podcast, this episode is called Rhaenyra the Cruel. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get into spoilers in a minute, but before we do that, let me give you an overall assessment of the episode. I think we immediately continue to escalate the violence, which definitely goes up a lot. We also continue to move the story forward for everyone. This season feels very, very quick paced. And I think that we are spending some time with very specific characters to ensure that you know like where your loyalties should kind of lie. I feel like the show skews very much Team Black with everything that's going on. So yeah, in the aftermath of episode one, where Blood and Cheese on the orders of Damon killed Jaehaerys, who is Aegon's son. We followed that up, and we knew there was going to be so much happening in this episode because of that. So let me do a quick run through of some of the main characters. We, of course, have Emma Darcy as Queen Rhaenyra, Matt Smith as Daemon, Olivia Cook as Queen Alicent, Tom Glenn Carney as King Aegon II, the false king, if you ask me. But he's really great. He's actually very great performance in this episode. One of the standouts. We have Ewan Mitchell as Aemon, Steve Toussaint as the Sea Snake, Lord Corlys, Eve Best as Princess Rhaenys. We also have Harry Collette as Jacaris, Graham McTavish as Sir Harold Wrestling, Rhys Infants as Sir Otto Hightower, Hannah the King, for how long? Who knows? And we also have Fabian Frankel as Sir Christian Cole, who is the commander of the King's Guard. So yeah, we're gonna get into spoilers now. So if you haven't seen the episode, go check it out. Come back. We can talk more about this, and then leave questions in the comments if you have questions. I definitely wanna. I need to rewatch this episode one more time to make sure that I'm really up to speed with everything. But let's get into it. So of course, like I said, the aftermath of Jaehaerys' murder, which oh boy, the reaction from the people, I'm talking about the viewers, was really interesting because although they didn't show anything physically, there were some like really gnarly sound design to show what was happening, and I think this episode takes that up a little bit. Like they kind of follow that momentum. So, of course, we catch in on Aegon just losing it royally, literally in front of everyone. Well, the first time I guess in front of no one is just losing it himself. He destroys that model that his father was always working on of the Valerian houses, I think. We also see that Otto tries to console Alicent because she blames herself, and I think very well she should. Right, she was with Sir Cole at the time, and that was the reason that there were no guards in those hallways. And also because she is a very religious character. I think she's very conflicted between everything she's doing wrong and her faith in the seven, which I think is explored a little bit more in this episode, and I'm sure will be. She's always at the altar with the candles, right? So we also see Littlefoot as he goes in to advise that blood has been caught, and Aegon continues to lose it at the council meeting. Like he's not listening to anyone. He is determined that this is Rhaenyra's fault, and she is now, it's all out war. Like no matter what the stakes are, we do see that Otto is more calm and calculated, and he's kind of super blunt and almost kind of an ass. Like he wants to use this all to for his propaganda machine against Rhaenyra to turn the people and turn the other houses onto their favor. So he plans a funeral for Jaehaerys with both Alicent and Queen Helena, so that the people can see her can see them both grieve, little Jaharis, and boy, they went all out for this funeral. They showed what I believe is just a stand-in, like a little mannequin of Jaharis, but they, God, it was kind of graphic. Like you could see where the head had been reattached, and it was, showing a child like that. Whew, they I can't wait to see what the people have to say about that. We also catch a big moment of Helena just really anxious because of all the people around, and they get kind of stuck, and the people are just kind of clamoring for them because obviously the small folk, as they are referred to, all the people from King's Landing, like they're going through harsh times, right? So they seek to their rulers for an answer. So we finally go in and check in with Rhaenyra in Dragonstone, and oh God, as they're kind of discussing what happened, there's a moment where Rhaenyra realizes that this was all because of Daemon. Just obviously Matt Smith playing it very coy, and it all really adds up very neatly together. So yeah, she realizes that it's his fault, or that it was some he had something to do with it. So they have an argument after that. They do take it into private quarters, and Damon advises on what he did, and of course Rhaenyra does not agree to this. She mentions that this just weakens her claim to the throne, and even brings up the fact that maybe Damon did this on purpose to sabotage her claim, because he still believes that he should be the rightful heir. Right? He was the rightful heir at some point until Rhaenyra was named. So. Um, we then get to see after that argument, Bela comes in, and she's asked to use her dragon to kind of patrol King's Landing and keep an eye on that situation. We also see that Sir Cole is obviously feeling very guilty because, once again, this was definitely something that was his doing, his fault. But he starts lashing out at others. In this case, he lashes out at Sir Arik. I'm gonna pronounce the A very hard, so that we don't get confused as to who I'm talking about. He lashes out at Sir Arik, whose brother left with Rhaenyra, Eric, and he sends him on a mission to kill Rhaenyra, because obviously he can infiltrate, pretending to be his brother. Sir Cole thinks that this will be really easy. I think we, as the viewer, knew that it was not going to be that easy. Like, there's no way this season just ends in 2 episodes, right? Also, Sir Cole, as the Lord Commander, he's technically like kind of Eric's manager. If you have a bad manager, report him. Document stuff, send them out. So yeah, don't take that stuff. If you don't believe a head assignment is worth what you should be doing, maybe bring that up. So we do see that Aemon. We catch up with Aemon now, who is at a brothel, and he's being held by this woman who apparently he sees very often. And just a moment of vulnerability for him. I think it's very well played by Ewan Mitchell. He even mentions that he regrets killing his cousin, or his uncle. I'm not sure what he regrets killing Luke. So it's hard to keep up with the family tree. Um, we then go see Alan and Adam, who are Alan is the guy who saved Lord Corliss, and he's kind of back to see his brother. I think they're planting seeds for a story there. Nothing too out there yet, but we do check in with them. So I figured it'd be at least important to bring it up here. We next go back to Dragonstone, where Mysaria is brought to Rhaenyra, and she mentions that obviously Rhaenyra figures that she has something to do with it, and she mentions that Mysaria tells her, Damon promised me my freedom for this, and I think she's going to become an integral part of Rhaenyra's council. I think they have a lot in common. In some places, they have a conversation later where I feel like they have a lot in common. Um, then, of course, Aegon, once he finds out that it was the rat catcher, a rat catcher in the castle that did this, he just goes ahead and hangs all the rat catchers that work in the castle. And the people see this, and we focus on one specific character. I don't know who they are or what their role would be, but I mean they have speaking lines. The camera follows them around while this is going on, so obviously they're setting up something as well. Otto confronts Aegon for his ill actions, both when it comes to supporting Sir Cole with his mission to Arak, and also with his actions of hanging all the rat catchers in front of the castle. Like any goodwill he had earned from the funeral is now squandered. So Aegon just decides to finally remove Otto as the hand. Like he's no longer the hand. He makes Sir Cole the hand, which is like what a bad. Even I know that's just a bad choice. So we then go back to Dragonstone, where Rhaenyra frees Mysaria, and as Mysaria is leaving, when she was freed, Sir Eric was there, and on her way out, she sees Sir Arik coming in. So even though in the episode is not stated like it was her who mentioned that this was happening, I'm sure we'll catch up on it next episode. So I think that's why I think Rhaenyra and Mysaria are gonna kind of become allies at some kind of cause, because of this that she's done. Right, she pretty much Mysaria pretty much saved Rhaenyra from Arik succeeding, because Arik very easily slipped into the castle, got all the way to. Obviously, they trust him, right? They think he's his brother. So we finally have the battle of the twins, which is great and very confusing because they really like both of these actors really really look alike, especially with like the beards and the hair the same, the armor. Like obviously, it was not a terrible plan, but like Kristen Cole didn't really plan this out all the way. So. Uh, and then one of them dies, and I wrote in my notes, so which one died? And then immediately, I believe Arik was the one who was killed first, but then immediately Eric, like he apologizes, and then he also puts his sword through his belly. So the twins are gone, both of them. But it was a great fight, greatly choreographed. They talked about it a little bit on the inside of the episode where they mentioned like there was a lot, like 30 hours they went into prep for this fight. So yeah, go check it out. I think is very much well worth your while to watch this fight. We didn't have to wait till the last season, like the Clegane Bowl, right? We got to see the twins go at it almost immediately in season 2. So uh, Otto decides that he's going to leave King's Landing, but Allison asks him to maybe go to Highgarden to get the favor of the Tyrells, as opposed to going back to Old Town. And then lastly, we see that Allison is going to talk to Aegon. She walks in on him crying, and here's how you know that these people don't like each other. She's his mother. She could have consoled him or something. She could have said something. And instead, she just leaves again and goes back to her room where Sir Kristen is waiting. And of course, they're gonna do it again because obviously she cannot learn her lesson. So yeah, the show's doing very little for me to see how there could be any merit to anybody choosing Team Green. So, if you have seen this episode, let me know what did you think of everything that just happened. I think there's a lot of stuff that's going to go down. I'm about to go check out some videos myself on everything that's going on to kind of catch up, because there's people that have read the books, have a little bit of insight. And although I don't want spoilers, I do want to understand, some of the differences, some of the changes, so all that good stuff. So, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.